Hello, everyone. Costin here with more World of Warcraft Classic in order to prepare for the launch of Burning Crusade. There's someone here I need to kill. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. If I was Alliance, I would camp you right now. Brave words. Brave words. Yeah, it's kind of... All right. Line of sight issues. Pull that fucking pet back. All right. You're telling me I can't fucking jump from here? Are you kidding? That's so stupid. There we go. So yes, I am doing this wonderful, wonderful quest right now. Well, truthfully, I'm pretty much done. So, I have these two quests that I can turn in. And then I have a bunch of other stuff that I can do over there. A bunch of stuff from Sunrock. Sunrock that I can also do. Alright. Now I think in Burning Crusade, the one thing to say about Burning Crusade, because you get more quest XP than in vanilla. Why Mage? Because Mage is a convenient class, really. And it's just an alt. It's not even the main alt. The main alt is gonna be the Warrior. Planning to get it to 70? Yeah. Here's the thing about TBC. If you just do quests, right? If you're just doing quests, you can earn thousands of gold from just questing. So, if you want to get gold pretty easily, assuming Blizzard doesn't introduce the token and you're not one of those people who buys gold from those horrible websites, actually, I'd rather say. The best way, one of the best methods you have available is get like the 58 boost, level to 70, do quests in Ender Storm Shadow Moon. Time consuming, but the gold per hour is actually absolutely worth it. So for me, with this particular character, the intent isn't even necessarily that. It's having an alchemist and a tailor at max level. For pretty clear reasons.
Be good.
Alright, so turn these two quests in. Completed that, all very well and good. So if you have alts, yeah. Honestly, lately in Classic, I would just prefer that they did the token. Gold buying is just so rampant, and better than Pally Instance Gold Farm. The Paladin Instance Gold Farm is worth a lot of gold, Samson. It's absolutely worth it. You can get easily like 300 gold an hour with it, maybe even more. But 300 or 400 gold. But But that's always a question of possibility. And I'll be honest, it gets really tiring after a while. It's probably, like, keep in mind that 300 gold per hour I just mentioned is only really for well-geared paladins, which no one will be at the start. I mean, it's also a way to break the monotony. Like, I hate questing with certain classes, but if you have a hunter, if you have a warlock, if you have a mage, questing is perfectly fine and easy and all that. And yeah, so what, Zitical just saying that I would just prefer if they added a token. Yeah, I mean, actually, gold buying is so rampant. Gold buying is so rampant and so completely out of control in Classic that it's gotten to a stage that if you're a raider, you can actually end up benefiting from it. Like, imagine you have a fully tiered, free geared character and you just join gold bid runs. You're gonna walk out of that with a lot of money. In fact, there are some people in my guild that have so much money that they're, you know, willing to help out other people. Actually, that's one of the ways I've gotten gold. It's like guildies who, yeah. I am on Gehennas, and I may, about raiding, I may, problem is everyone else who doesn't do gold DKP or buy gold just suffers. Especially with the costs. Yeah, I can agree with that sentiment, Zitical. And I feel like the one... You know, I have never bought gold in WoW. I have never bought gold in WoW from any of those websites, right? Like, I'm one of those people. I have also never bought a token on retail, though believe me, I've gotten really tempted with Shadowlands to do just that. Just so I don't have to give a crap about even the most basic of gold farming. I only got banned on my main account. Well, I guess they figure out who was your main account. In that case. But I'm not gonna deny, though, I'm not gonna lie about it. Like, I was very, very close to getting to a point with TBC Classic of just, like, wanting to buy gold. Because you do feel like you're not gonna be competitive if you're gonna... I don't have the fucking time to farm gold in Classic. I just don't, plain and simple. It's like I've got so much other stuff that I have to deal with, like streaming, making videos, all that. It's very time consuming in its own right. So it's like I genuinely don't have the time for it. But thankfully I didn't have to go down that road. It would have been a really horrible thing. We're doing all the GDKP runs and feels great to get 1.6k gold from Nax. Yeah, absolutely. But I think... like, I think the economy of Classic is just so utterly broken. Like, I admit, I'll openly admit this, guys. I'm not gonna lie about it. The only reason, the absolute only reason I haven't bought gold in Classic, the only real reason, I don't give a crap about the morality, I don't care about Blizzard's TOS, I don't care about any of that. Well, I guess I kind of do care about Blizzard's TOS, but... Crix is buying... Well, that's a nice accusation. If he is, and I'm not gonna say anything on that, but if he is... Why is this quest not available? Oh, okay. But if he is, then the reason he's doing that is simply... I cover my gold financial for my crypto trading. If he is, he's doing it for the reason I came very close to doing it. And I didn't do it. The only reason I didn't do it, I'm not gonna lie. The only reason I didn't do it is if I lost my account, I would be screwed in a major way. Like, it ultimately, that's what came down to me. Like, I'm a streamer, I'm a YouTuber, I can't afford to lose my WoW account. I don't care about my classic character. Especially because, you know, I've had beta access, so yeah. What's your plan to hit 60 and gear your Paladin in 2 weeks? Either the test or don't if it's out. Gold farming is a part of the classic experience. Yeah, no. I'm just gonna say it. It's not. Not anymore. It's not part of the classic game experience when people are running gold DKP runs and getting paid 4k 1 to 4k gold per next run just because they do it by people who buy gold. I'm sorry, no. That boat has sailed. And you know what? I'm not sure at this point. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm not sure if the situation would be worse or better if they had added in the token. In some ways, it would be better because you wouldn't have all the... You wouldn't necessarily have all the legal shit, all the illegal stuff going on. And make no mistake, it is very illegal what a lot of these websites do. Those gold selling websites do. It's not just like, oh, it's against the TOS. The TOS is whatever. The TOS is a meaningless piece of paper that you can wipe your ass with. The law is actually, the TOS is not the law. Let's be clear on this. The TOS is basically Blizzard's, you know, what Blizzard requires from you in terms of service, in terms of, so you can play on their server. Well, in terms of the classic experience, it's also not the classic experience in many other ways as well. It's not the classic experience to pop cooldowns, to pop flask as you would legitimize gold buying. Yeah. See, here's the thing about that. It doesn't matter if gold buying is legitimized or not, Samson. It doesn't matter. Look, at the end of the day, I'm going to say it quite frankly and openly and all that. For the same reason the token exists, or the reason that token was created in EVE Online, I believe it was. There's a lot of people right now who have jobs, who have families, who have real-life commitments. The last fucking thing they give a crap about is spending their fucking time, their precious time, farming an in-game currency when they can buy that currency for real money, which they have. So, you know, you can accept that. You can be angry about that. You can feel, oh, it's ruining the experience. I think the bigger problem is there's too much focus on the in-game currency. I think in-game currencies have really gone down. I think the way old school MMOs were developed doesn't hold up in this day and age. I really don't think so. At least, and I don't think you should. I think like the focus on, so, oh, you're gonna have all these expensive items. I mean, back in the day, right? To be fair, it wasn't like they were developed on like, oh, everyone's gonna get all the crafted items and all that. No, it was a guild effort to get some of that stuff. Let's keep it that way instead of talking about it. Everyone's buying gold. Everyone knows that no one gets banned from it. It's already legitimized. Yeah, it's absolutely already legitimized, I gotta say. Like, the fact that... I mean, I remember stories, like, from people who bought gold. Because I knew a couple people, even back in the day of retail BC and all that. As said, I never really have purchased gold in a while. But I certainly remember back in the day that Blizzard would ban, like I remember hearing stories how Blizzard would ban people for buying gold. They absolutely would. I mean, I was never, for me personally, I was not in a financial situation to buy gold. Hell, even today, it's like, it's not exactly a cheap fucking thing if you look at the prices that are available. When did you change the channel name? Well, I changed the channel name, what was it? A couple of weeks ago? Why did I do it, you might ask? Simple. Some dipshit on Twitch had Serious Gaming as a channel name, and there was a lot of drama associated with that, and I got tired of being fucking associated with that channel. So I changed it to a name that has no controversy surrounding it. Simple. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. The art, the channel art is not final. I probably should ask for a more updated version. Yeah, it's also a good rebrand. You guys think so? You think Constant Gaming is better than Serious Gaming? Let me hear your thoughts. I'm not good at branding, for the record. I'm not the brand guy. Let's just say that. Yeah. Yeah. So how's the prep going? Well, right about now, all I'm doing really is farming. Yeah. Well, I mean, I actually was reluctant to change the name because I thought that it would actually go down worse than it did. But there hasn't really been an impact in a negative way with that YouTube algorithm. Yeah. I mean, Constant is my name. My actual name, funnily enough. It's like, when I created my... when I started playing Warcraft 3, you know how you had to make a name to play single player, right? Your profile name? I just put in Constant there. It's like, what name would I use, right? I was a kid. What the hell did I know? And then when I started playing Warcraft 3 online, I went with Constant. Yeah, good luck doxing me. I would not recommend you trying. Truthfully, it's my middle name. My real name, well... But I'll be honest, yeah. Is that the challenge? Well, I don't know. I'm reporting you for doxing yourself. How can you dox yourself? Is that an actual thing? I don't believe that's an actual thing. Okay, how do I get up there? There's a cave. Oh, okay, I guess I think I see it. So there's a cave entrance somewhere. Over there, actually, if I'm not mistaken. Is your real name Nikolai? Well. Yeah, you know, most people in Romania... Yeah. Most people in Romania are called some variation of Andrei. Andrew, basically, in English. How the hell do I get there? That's the thing that I'm wondering about. Because I need to get there. I don't see a path through here. Or maybe I'm blind. Yeah, clearly I am blind. I guess I could just climb over here, can't I? What, I'm Lady Dumitrescu's son. You ever gonna add the webcam? I might. At one point. At one point. I do actually have a webcam. I bought one. The problem is I need a stand for it to begin with. And YouTube and NVIDIA Broadcast does not like my furniture, apparently. So it's not removing the background properly. I admit I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of that kind of stuff. But maybe I'm someone more like, but I know it's the hot topic. Wait, don't I have counterspell at this particular stage? I should, or haven't. I have not gone to the trainer in a while, haven't I? That's hilarious. That's absolutely hilarious. If I put myself on a webcam right now, I would look like I'm dead tired. Because honestly, I am. I spent almost 2 months playing the beta at 10 times. I am exhausted. Oh man, I've made such horrible eye bags too. It's like fucking terrible. Thanks, Def Camp, Crix. Or thanks Blizzard for making the beta so NA-centric. Actually, it's not even on Blizzard. European players just didn't give a fuck to play the beta. I think it is certainly an interesting thing to see. Okay, aren't these guys supposed to drop the crystals as well, not just have me pick them up? Because it does say it was good content at least. Yeah. What's not true? That Blizzard didn't allow people and European players in the beta, or that the European players didn't care about playing the beta? All right, so someone died over there. Do I plan on getting boosted on my main? I do. If you want to get to level, if you want to get to level 60 and be able to do enough BGs to get yourself the gear requirements, you absolutely need to get boosted. By a guildie, preferably. So yes, I personally do intend to get boosted. Yeah, I don't think you really have a choice on that. Yeah, I don't think you do. You wanna... If you wanna do, if you wanna be prepared for TBC, you need to get boosted. Now I don't know how long it's gonna take, but yeah. The annoying thing for me personally is, like, I was really looking forward to Mass Effect Legendary Edition coming out, and now I probably won't be able to enjoy it fully when it comes out in a couple of days, because a couple of days after that, guess what's coming out? So I was really looking forward to Mass Effect, and then it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna release the pre-patch for TBC a couple of days after that. So it's like 4 days to do Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. Well, that's a challenge. I can do it. It's just I probably will hate my life for it. You're looking at, I mean, each of those games. I might just put Mass Effect 3 on the back burner and just play 1 and 2 to BH. And that's it in that situation. But yeah, I want to get to 60 as well really quick. Why did it have to be kobolds? I mean, if your guild doesn't want to boost you... Well, I know someone's gonna help me with that. Myself and another paladin, or 2 other paladins. At least the guild situation's been sorted on my end. Information to come out soon. Not something I can talk about right now publicly. It's not completely set in stone, but we've gotten, I've gotten a good read on the situation with my guild, what guild I'm gonna play in. Let's just say the plans I had initially for TBC have all gone down the drain. Speedrun guild. Possibly. But I'm not sure if I'm gonna... Well, I haven't played in Resist for months, really. I'm done with them. Specifically, I'm done with Varbane. He's a cunt. Plain and simple. There, I said it. What you guys wanted me to say for months, it's like he's an ass. Yeah, he is an ass. No more raccoon memes, I can say. I mean, seriously, it's like that guy is like... I don't know what happened to him. He was such a nice, reasonable guy when I joined his guild. And then it's like he went fucking nuclear weapon mode after a while. He completely lost it. Where am I from? Romania, Speed Racer. Romania. And I know I don't sound like a Romanian. I sound Dutch. I'm not sure if I should take that as an insult or a compliment. You know, I have some good friends that are Dutch, but I also know they have a reputation, let's say that. Insult. Take it as an insult, of course. I sound Dutch. Ugh. Hold on a second. Let me sort this out. Yeah. Is that? Hold on a second. Yeah. Your excellent is mostly the same as someone else. Well, I guess, I guess for those of us that are from Romania and spend a lot of time talking with, live leaks incoming. Did they fix seal twisting on all seals yet? Not that I know of. I am so dead. Well, so be it. I knew I was gonna die there, but I accepted. By the way, regarding the conversation I'm having right now in the chat, is that honey? Hold on. Was your main gonna be on Shazra? No. I made the decision a while ago that I was not going to play in Resistant Classic. I also made the decision that the reason I didn't want to do that irrespective of my issues with Mr. Varbane, I made the decision not to do that because I didn't want to play in a top world guild. I didn't want to commit to that. I did it once when Classic came out. I really burnt myself out, and I burnt myself to the give back Northern Transylvania. You know what the Spartans said that Thermopylae and what the Spartans said that Thermopylae and the English said that Agincourt to the French? Come and get them. Come and get it. Did I leave resist? Well, yeah, kind of complicated. A bit complicated, but basically I decided I was not going to play with them in Classic. The reason is, yeah, I didn't want to burn myself out. I did it in Dream State when Classic came out. I played with them, and I kind of realized that I'm not necessarily the most hardcore of players myself. So, like, I'm willing to go hard, but some people are really, really maniacal when it came to that. Now, at the moment, it would be less of an issue because right now I can stream myself and I can make a living from that, so it's less of a problem. So if I play the game all day, it's like less of an issue. But back then, it certainly was an issue. And believe it or not, even so though, I still can't really necessarily go as Pepega as some people are, right? Yeah. So for me, it wasn't the case of like the time requirements were too much, though they absolutely were insane. For me, it was also the fact that I was playing a warrior, and I'm not a guy who likes playing multiple characters. I absolutely detest that. I've always detested doing that for the history of WoW. But if you play the warrior in Classic, at least initially, you know, you had to farm your mount. That mattered because you needed to run to the raid faster. You needed to get Lionheart. You needed to get a huge sum of gold, and it was insane. So the best option that a lot of people did is level like a mage or a hunter alt or both. I just wasn't. I just don't enjoy that. But beyond that, at the time, WoW was not the main thing I was doing on this channel. I'm still, you know, obviously a YouTuber, but it wasn't the main thing I was bothering with. So because of that, I had to work other stuff. And, you know, if you're doing that, you really burn yourself out. It's really difficult being a tank in a guild of that nature because you have to be one of the most active players, I feel like. Because you just have so much stuff to farm yourself, really. Also going hunter, so I don't. Yeah, that's gonna be rough. But either way, right? Even now, as a WoW YouTuber, even now when I'm doing WoW as the primary game that I'm covering on YouTube, it's still difficult to just commit to that kind of level. I mean, I've talked to people in Method and Progress. Why do I think so negatively of people? Well, I guess the thing is, the people I think so negative, a lot of the people that I've met over the years have been very toxic themselves, so it creates a vicious cycle, in a way. The fact is, I don't necessarily think of negative about a lot of people in the first place, like people like Crix, Def Camp, and all that. You know, I get along quite well. Josh, you know, from Countdown to Classic, it's just like the WoW European hardcore community is just toxic. Just plain and simple. You're free of private servers for a while. Time to be. Time to not be. Well, I don't think it's really private servers that create a toxic environment, to be honest. To be honest with you, I think it's just. Yeah. As for why I'm toxic to certain people, well, I am toxic to people who just approach things, who just have really stupid ideas, really. What do I mean by stupid ideas? Well, I mean warriors trying to argue that they don't need the sword. That they don't need the sword for the sake of that they don't need to get blacksmithing, Lionheart champion or executioner, even though it's such a big deal for the sake of, even though it's such an enormous deal for the sake of any what? Yeah, okay. Female orc warlock. Let's see if I can get out of here without pulling anything that I don't need to. But yeah, certainly a lot of the communities I've played in over the years have been toxic. On top of that, I'm just tired and grumpy, basically. I'm exhausted. I play too much WoW. I don't like playing this much WoW, but it's like, it's the job. And, you know, you can enjoy what you do. In fact, you should enjoy what you do, but it's still a job at the end of the day, so it's not all sunshine and bunnies. You know, there's stress. There's, yeah. What? I have no idea. I'm not going to comment on that. Yeah. I have played way too much WoW during COVID. Nothing else to do, really. Well, there's other games to play, really. In my case, you know, I would like to play more Rome Remastered, but it's like, why don't you just create your own guild and control the pace? Because running a guild is a full-time job in its own right. Because it's really difficult. Like, I've done it. I've led my own guild. I could do it again. I have the understanding of the game to do it. That's not the problem. But I have to say, I don't think... Like, if you're... Like, one, I don't want to make a streamer guild. Let me be perfectly clear on this point. Yeah. I don't want to make a streamer guild. I'm happy to be an officer, a raid leader, a tank in any guild, right? I can do that, but being a guild leader is just something that I'm not really good at. Not necessarily, even if it's a less hardcore one, even if it's just one that's aiming to clear the content. It's still not something... The problem is, doing it would require me finding people to do it with. You can't do this kind of stuff on your own, right? You need officers and all that, and you need people willing to put in the time as well. You can't... If you're running a solo show, you're gonna feel horrible as a person. I think that's what happened with Mr. Varbane. He was doing too much shit, and he was getting a lot of flack for it. Being a GM is like being a parent. You know, I had... Speaking about that, Richard, I had the conversation with my priest, actually. And I was talking with him about, not WoW, but a similar kind of discussion. And he was telling me, with some people, the way you deal with them in some situations, the way you deal with people is like you treat them like little children. That's how you have to treat them. It sounds absolutely horrible, but he's kind of right. I don't want to do it anymore when I hear your words. Well, honestly, yeah, I mean, being a tank is a commitment. Like, that's the thing. Like, being a tank is not a fun job. And you have to be, like, this is one of the reasons why, you know, I might sound very toxic, is you need a good tank is what makes or breaks a lot of guilds. Doesn't matter which version of the game we're talking about. And a good tank is someone that's going to have to be more aware, is going to be judged far more harshly than most people. Like, if you're playing a DPSer in a guild, and I've done this myself, if you're playing a DPSer in a guild, many times you're just an invisible part of a raid. Your kind of performance can matter in some situations, but doesn't matter in others. If you're playing a tank, your performance always matters. If you make mistakes, it's like you might as well have dropped a nuclear bomb on a raid a lot of the time. And that's the thing. Like, you know, I've made the point in a lot of my videos, like, if my attitude about, like, how you should approach tanking, and as a tank, and it's like Paladin tanks, for instance, I've made a big point about how powerful they are in Burning Crusade. Absolutely. And they are powerful. Give healers some love, too. We matter. Healers are a different discussion, I feel, but at the same time, like at the end of the day, with the tank, you are the pace setter. You are the guy that needs to, you know, be a quasi raid leader. I've said it before. It's not, you're not a full raid leader, and I don't necessarily think you can be a main tank and a really good raid leader. Depends on how you set up the structure. I guess it can work. I've been a main tank and a raid leader myself in some guilds, but it can. You do need help to call out some stuff because you're just not going to see some things. Healers. Well, I would say healing is more of a team effort than anything else, really. You need a... Well, so is tanking. Like, one of the things I would say, there's a tendency... Yeah. Also, a lot of people feel entitled to tanking services. Yeah. With regards to tanking services, I am not tanking for my guild unless I absolutely have to, so yeah. And you shouldn't, by the way. You should just tell people, it's like, no, I've got my own fucking farm to do. Find someone else. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, I've got farming, I've got priorities, I've got work. I don't have time to do your fucking dungeon for the sake of whatever item you need. You kind of have to be a bit of a prima donna as a tank, either way, but yeah. I think it's part of the job. Okay, so I've got stuff here. But at the same time, what I would tell to people is, as a tank, you're not tanking alone. You have a tanking team, and it's important to work together with your fellow tanks and respect one another, work together, manage to do stuff together. That is very, very important. It's also important to get together with the officers and, you know, reach and manage things well together. Because if you don't, you end up in a messy, messy situation. So, yeah. But tanking is certainly one of the more critical roles in any guild, and guilds are very, let's just say, strict when it comes to that kind of stuff. Wait, do I have any shoulder? Yeah, I do.
Safe.
Yeah. Oh, man. I think when it comes to gearing priorities, let's not even talk about that. Some people think, oh, the DPS are the only thing that matter. They're wrong, by the way. Maybe in retail, it's a bit of a different situation when it comes to Mythic raid gear, but that's different because you can get a bunch of gear from Mythic Pluses, right? Before Mythic raid comes out, so you always have gear available. But when it comes to previous expansions, I feel like the gearing priority should be overall, though not in every case. Yeah. You should go with tanks, then DPS, then healers in terms of gear progression, in terms of gearing priorities, yeah. Bannock UI. It makes it a little better. You can find it. Bannock UI. Let's see Bannock UI. What it is about. Because why not? The Elf UI edit. Yeah, I'm sure there's Trojans on Curse Gaming, Kevin. Oh, if there are Trojans, I'll just contact them myself. I actually do have a contract with Curse. Well, Union for Gamers, so. If shit hits the fan, I know who to reach out to. Anyone remember Athene? Best paladin in the world? Apparently a cult leader these days. How that happened? Don't ask me, I have no clue. So what do I need here? So I need to get seeds. But yeah, best paladin in the world is Athene. Greatest paladin that ever walked the earth. We are all plebs following in his great footsteps. Didn't Athene die? Pretty certain he's well and kicking. Has an epic beard today these days as well. He's not posting on YouTube, but I think he still has his active Twitch channel. I don't know. He kind of just dropped off. Like, I don't know what the hell happened, but it's like a lot of stuff apparently happened. Lots of drama. Lots and lots of drama, apparently. Either way, though. So, you have Athene. Where do you see your... Where can you see your level on this UI? I just scroll over my mage. Or I open my character model. I don't need my UI level to be mentioned. Probably gonna have to redo my UI though with TBC. He went apeshit at one point. Yeah. But one of the things that Athene did do, and this is kind of important because this is where I'm getting at. One of the things Athene did do that had huge significance for YouTubers is he created a network. He helped with Curse. He helped create a YouTube network with Curse that is still around, though it's not accepting new applicants. I think multi-channel networks have went through kind of a rough period because of some changes on YouTube from what I understand. Anyway, but he created Union for Gamers. It's got a pretty solid contract, all that kind of stuff, good benefits, etc., etc. He made that. And that was actually a really nice Marion UI. Yeah. So that's one of the contributions Athene made. He made the network that some of us on YouTube are still using. Okay. Let's kill some deer. Because we're totally not undead cannibals. Deer. Mage fun to play? Yeah, after a while. I just haven't gotten to the level point where I can just do Blizzard farming yet. Well, I probably can go to Hellsbrad, but I think maybe I just want to get some gear before I do that. Like, I want to maybe finish the quest, where I get 25, and then go to Hellsbrad at that point. Let me see who's online, by the way. Mr. Devs is doing Zul'Gurub. ZG. Mage is both fun and can be both fun and horrible to play. And that's what I'd say about it. It's a lot of fun because of the AoE potential. It's not so fun when you have no way of healing yourself during combat and your survivability is dog. So it's pros and cons, right? But everyone has a mage. You know, it's funny. I played a lot of the beta. Do you know which class we didn't really see a lot of? Yeah, mages. That's the one class. Like, I'm probably not gonna raid on this guy, or if I do, it's gonna be very, very, very limited. That's gonna be my experience with him. Let's see. They were bloody useful in vanilla. Because their tier gear and gearing overall is shit, no fun at all. Actually, that's not the problem with mages in TBC. The issue, like, what I'm gonna probably try and do is, like, I'll see how much a mage I end up playing in TBC, but I think my thought process with it is, yep. Well, I'm gonna have weeks of work ahead of me for my Paladin, and weeks of work with my Warrior, then maybe I play some of the mage, maybe. It's a big maybe, let's leave it there. Could potentially end up playing some of it, but yeah, now don't hold your breath for it. Why is my FPS going down? What is going on here, Blizzard? I want the damn explanation. This doesn't make sense. This really doesn't make sense. Alright, so it was the MSAA. Why do you want a warrior? PvP? Tanking, actually. I know I've gone on the record on saying that warrior tanks are probably not going to be that useful in TBC, and they aren't in a really hardcore guild, but here's the thing. I do enjoy pally tanking, and I think pally tanking can contribute an enormous amount to any raid, right? But even saying that, I actually do enjoy greatly the warrior playstyle. I like the class. I like the mobility the class have. I like having a rage bar. I like I like the rotation of a warrior. I like the fact that people actually view you as the tank and not, you don't have to argue with people who have no clue what they're talking about. It's like, can you tank a boss or something like that? Like, I recognize the value of a Paladin tank. It's one of the reasons why, when I had the decision to make in terms of which character to main, I went Pally. But, like, playstyle-wise, I absolutely prefer the Warrior. It's just less powerful and less impactful on a raid. That's a genuine view I have of the Warrior. Of the Paladin. Or whatever. Can Pally tank a raid in vanilla? Well, I guess we're gonna see in the pre-patch. I know there have been some Paladin tanks in vanilla. What is this? How does a Druid tank compare to a Warrior? Well, what you need to know as a tank in Burning Crusade going into it is that Warriors have the inherent advantage as a tank. They have the most survivability by default, and they have the most base threat by default of all the tanks. So early on, as you're doing the first couple of weeks of raiding, Warriors are the main tanks of the game. Early on. And after that particular point, oh shit. Well, fuck, I'm running away. Yeah, I am not dealing with that. Cute kitty. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Okay. But yeah. So tanking-wise, Warriors have the strongest start. By far. Of any of the tanks in the game. Most red, most survivability. They also have that great mobility. They have Demo Shout and Thunderclap, which are both very important cooldowns. Debuffs. So they are the main tank early on. With Paladins, though, give it a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks, give them some raid gear, and they are easily on par with Warriors. That's been my experience. Even if they have less HP, it doesn't matter, because you can tank every boss even with 1-2k less HP. I've tanked Prince, I've tried tanking Nightbane and survived his damage. That wasn't an issue. Actually, yeah. So tanking anything right now, tanking anything in TBC is not going to be a problem for a Paladin. Past the first 2 weeks, because Warriors are going to just start with full tier 3, which is on par with pre-raid best in slot. Paladins are actually going to have to grind their own gear. For Druids, I think Druids probably actually have the worst start of the tanks, because while Paladins suffer from a lack of HP and a lack of the crush cap initially, and they need to gear up for that, Paladins can achieve a good amount of survivability and threat, but really survivability as tanks and pre-raid gear. Druids are screwed. Druids need raid gearing to be as effective as tanks as Warriors or Paladins are. Like, Paladins will benefit immensely from raid gearing, but they don't need it to tank all the bosses in the game. Druids do. And because of that, Druids are probably the worst tank initially. After that, however, with tier 4 gearing, Druids probably become the best single target tanks in the game. They will have a lot of survivability, more than enough to deal with the lack of crush immunity. They will have very high armor, and they'll be really strong fret-wise. They probably will be the tanks generating the most fret. Maybe. It's kind of tricky to say right now. On private servers, Druids were the ones generating the most fret, but who knows? Maybe Warriors and Paladins will do better. I mean, Paladins certainly will do better because we'll be able to spam Kings. Paladins will be able to do better because we'll be able to spam Kings, so we'll be able to do more fret. And Warriors are actually going to end up being the worst tank. Why is that? Well, because Warriors, for all their cooldowns, Demo Shout and Thunderclap, Demo Shout Warriors, Druids also have as well anyway, and a DPS Warrior can also do. Warriors, for all their cooldowns, the problem Warriors have is they probably have the harshest trade-offs to make between survival and threat. So if you're playing as a warrior tank, it's not nice having to worry about hit cap, as much expertise as possible. What situation would you spam Kings? Any boss tanking situation in a 25-man raid, where you have enough mana to get along with it. Like, I've been second on threat on Gruul without any real effort. How many tries did it take to take him down? Also, are people doing almost 4k DPS there? What? On which boss exactly? Sorry to ask, which boss, blah blah. Oh, sorry, your video killed Jaden. Were you in that raid? No, I wasn't on the raid and killed Jaden. I killed Moro in that guild. Actually, it didn't take that many tries to get Kill Jaden down on Netherwing. I think they did it on the same day they got to him. So, Moro was the real struggle, honestly. Like, compared to Moro, Kill Jaden was a joke, apparently, from what I've been told. If there is a gray area, which I have in terms of TBC, where I don't have as much experience, it's Sunwell Plateau. I only did it on retail. I messed around a bit on private servers. I did Moro, so I know the Moro fight. That's the one thing that matters, I guess. Knowing the hardest boss in the game. Kill Jaden isn't hard to tank at all, but yeah. I mean, I think, you know, Sunwell Plateau, in a way, is overrated as a raid in terms of difficulty. Because when you get into the details of what the fight is, it's actually not quite as hard mechanically as some other boss fights are. The reason Sunwell Plateau is hard is because there's a fuck ton of damage and healing required that you just have to deal with. But I think that's and so people had to completely relearn. If I tell you that I had over 20 accounts, well, I'm sure Blizzard wouldn't give beta to someone who got banned for gold. worth saying that much. But yeah, tanking wise, I'd say Warriors start out the strongest, followed by Paladins, followed by Druids. Druids being the worst tanks initially. With raid gearing, it's probably Druids and Paladins that end up being better and Warriors being worse, because Warriors just have to make that trade-off of hit, of survivability, and of a threat versus survivability. Do you think Prop Pally? No, I don't. I actually don't think it's worth going blacksmithing. You lose so much if you, like, you would lose jewel crafting or enchanting, and you would lose engineering. You absolutely want to go engineering. Maybe you can argue in favor of going blacksmithing for the sake of those SSE and TK items. I don't think it's worth it, personally, because if you're interested in spell power, belt, and boots, there are options if you care about threat. And if you don't care about threat, well, and honestly, this is the thing to know. Tier 5 provides a lot of spell power on its own. You don't really need that from the boots and the belt. And there's also a really good belt pre-raid for the sake of threat. So it's honestly not worth the effort, from my perspective. Wait, that guy has better not kill myself right there. Yeah. So that's what I think. Can I just go blacksmithing jewel craft because I want Deep Thunder? If you want to play a prop paladin main, you want to be engineering. What you go for your second profession doesn't matter anywhere as much, but you absolutely want to be engineering. And maybe it's actually a really good thing for someone who wants to have Deep Thunder for the sake of PvP to have to be engineering blacksmithing. Personally, my plan was to go jewel crafting for the sake of the guild. Maybe that changes right now. We'll see. Maybe that will change. Maybe it won't. We'll see. We shall see, gentlemen. Is engineering just for the trinket? No. I answered this in my frequently asked questions video about paladins, but what I would say is it's for the grenades. The reason grenades are important is because they're burst AoE threat. You absolutely want engineering for those super sapper charges. And even if you don't want to use super sapper charges, you want fel iron bombs, because they're still good. Or fel iron grenades, actually. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you want to go blacksmithing for the sake of those items, sure. I don't think it's going to be necessary. And I think the trinket from jewel crafting is actually worth it more. Because it's a nice balance between threat and survival. But what do I know? Maybe the MacFaradin trinket ends up being the best in slot threat trinket, but we'll see. Best professions for Druid tank? Leatherworking and... That's a good question. Leatherworking and what else? You can go whatever you want, I guess, as a second profession. Maybe you want to go engineering yourself, but... yeah, from my view, it's... I think you would either want to be engineering as a Druid tank beyond leatherworking. You want leatherworking. And then you can either go engineering, you can go jewel crafting, if your guild needs one. You can even go mining. Guilds will actually want a miner in their Hyjal raids. I know, sounds shocking, but you actually will want one. Someone's got to mine the veins, right? And you can say, well, you can go after the raid to, you know, bring an ult after the raid to mine them. That's just an annoyance, honestly. And also, we don't know if they despawn. We don't know if there's going to be trash that we'll have to deal with, so... yeah. But I would absolutely say leatherworking. Secondary can be whatever you want. You can even go alchemy if you so desire. Though I would not necessarily recommend it. I was thinking of playing prop Paladin to make gold. Sure, you could. If you're just gonna have it as an alt. I mean, engineering is good in raids, but yeah. It's actually a pretty nice comp, the jewel crafting trinket and the engineering one. Yep, that was the idea. That was the idea. I mean, for an alt, it doesn't really matter what professions you pick, does it? what kind of gear will be needed for prop paladins? Well, when it comes to gear, you can either have tier 2, tier 2.5. I would say tier 2 or tier 2.5 will be enough. Or if you don't have, like, if you're starting a blood elf like yours truly, you want the PvP gear. That would be my personal advice to all of you, really. Just get that, just get all of that, I'd say. Get the High Warlord gear. For the sake of dungeon. Like, here's the only item that you would actually want, like the one that would actually really make a difference early on from vanilla, beyond the trinket that you'll use at 70, which is the Blackwing Lair tanking trinket. Beyond that, the only thing that matters, the only thing that truly matters as a paladin tank is having some kind of spell power weapon. Now, you can get the High Warlord healing mace, you can get the which has 45 or so spell power, which is decent enough. You'll probably be able to use that until 70. So you can use that, or wait, what am I looking at? I'm looking at Twilight Whisker. So I'm looking at, yeah, okay. So you can use that, or you can get a Wraith Blade, you can get Lockamere, you can get a bunch of other items. My advice is try and get the Lockamere. If you can't, good luck, basically. If your guild can boost you in Nax so you can get the Nax weapon, that's even better. I'm going to try and push it with my guild, but we'll see if that ends up happening. It might not happen, right? It's like... And even if it does happen, there's probably going to be other people who are going to want it as well. But the thing is, other people may have upgrades along the way. You don't. Like, if you get something like a Lockamere, you're going to use it until 70. Because there is no upgrade for you. There's other spellcaster weapons that are available along the way, but they're like daggers. Because this is what Blizzard does. They put daggers in the game. Actually, if you're a spellcaster, like if you're a mage, get the fucking PvP dagger and stop taking weapons that paladins need. Because every paladin will need a raid weapon, preferably. Because otherwise they're using a healing weapon, which is just not as good. Outside of that, you can go with the armor pieces, tier 2, tier 2.5, or the High Warlord gear, or even the blue set. But, and this is the crux of the issue. In theory, you wouldn't actually need any kind of gear except a weapon. Because Hellfire has plenty of items, plenty of quests, early game quests, that give you a chest, pants, helm, other pieces that have spell power. Maybe shoulders. Actually, you would probably want a pair of shoulders as well with spell power. So the High Warlord, the weapon, and the High Warlord shoulders. If there's two items you want to farm above all else, it's those. Boots as well, if you can. Those 3 items. Those are the ones that actually matter because you don't have easy replacements early on for quite a long time. Outside of that, you can get quest items in Hellfire, but this is the crux of the issue. You will not be able to quest Hellfire on the launch day. So, good luck with the notion. So, my advice is get as much PvP gear as possible. Either get the expensive pieces if you have the honor for them, or the cheaper pieces. They're worth the same amount of tokens, by the way. I'm gonna make a pre-patch Paladin video soon. Tomorrow, most likely. Just to go over that. I mean, the frequently asked questions, I kind of touched on this in my frequently asked questions video, but not quite as completely as I could have had. Farming honor in Hellfire you can do. I guess. Oh, man. Oh, yes. The world PvP and Hellfire will be biblical. I'm reminded of that movie with Gerald Butler where he says he's going to bring down the whole corrupt temple down on their heads. and that it's gonna be biblical. Great quote. Or in like my case, getting dungeon boosted in TBC by free Atiash. Well, you still need gear for that. You still want to have gear, right? You want to have spell power so you can hold threat against those Atiash casters. You don't need an enormous amount, to be clear. Like, you don't need to go completely fucking mental on this. About 200 or so spell power is going to be enough against those Atiash geared casters. 2 weeks is enough for Thunder Fury! Yeah. I guess miracles do happen. I want to see the Blood Elf Paladin who gets Thunder Fury in the 2-week pre-patch. I'm sure it will happen. I'm absolutely positively certain it. Some schmuck will manage it. And he will be one of the luckiest bastards that has ever played WoW. Has there been, like, I don't know of any cases, but has there ever been a player that managed to get Thunder Fury done on the same week? Like, he got both the bindings on the same week. Has that ever happened? Yes. Okay. Yeah, I know a guild that got to. I've seen both binding drops in a GDKP run. I'm sure you've, I'm sure some people walked away out of that with a lot of gold. Should we go for spell power Grand Marshal or physical? Go for spell power. Absolutely go for spell power. Are you planning on getting it? I'll try. Let's leave it there. I'm not necessarily certain I will manage to succeed in that effort, because here's the thing, they didn't just implement a rating. No. They didn't just implement a rating. They made it so that you start from scratch with 0 rating when you create a PvP team. So if you're actually doing PvP in TBC, to get 2k rating from 0 is not an easy effort. Consider this. Per run, but you can drop until 1.5k even if you lose. No. So like when you create a new team or new arena team in Burning Crusade, you will start with 0 rating. What, are you not going to lose rating until you get to 1.5k, or what's the case there? Are you only just going to gain rating, or what's the play there? Because I question that. But either way, consider this. You get 92 points, so you only need 10 games, or what is it? Okay. After a while, you'll start in well, I guess it depends on how active the PvP scene. I think it's probably going to be very active, and it's going to be all kinds of skill levels, so yeah. But don't be surprised if it takes hundreds of games to get that 2k rating. You don't lose rating. Okay. That makes sense. That's fine. But it's still gonna be a mountain of effort. You're looking at you're looking at possibly He's over 100 games to get that 2K rating. And that's assuming you do well. By well, I'm not talking about winning every match. That's fantasy universe stuff, bullshit level. But I'm talking about the decent win ratio. You're still talking about dozens upon dozens of games. Add into the fact that as a Paladin tank, you need to respec for that stuff. To Holy, I'm personally going to probably push the Shakadin notion. So you need to farm PvP gear from BGs before you get that. Good luck, by the way, with that. Alliance is going to be hard fucked by what Blizzard has done. So good luck getting PvP honor gear from BGs. And even then, it's like, and you have to respec every time you do it. So you're limited in how much time you can, because you need to do quite a few heroics, quite a few dungeons, actually, for your reputations, all that kind of stuff. So you're going to be limited along the way in multiple ways, and I'm just going to say the amount of time and effort that it's going to require is going to be enormous. Fucking enormous. My personal expectation, I'll probably, yeah. My personal expectation as a Paladin, I'm probably going to get Blood Maw Magus Blade and argue with the Guild Leader to get Fang of the Leviathan. That's where I stand with that issue. Thanks, Blizzard. You fucked us over in more ways than you might think. Actually, they did screw us over in more ways than you might think. Because people, it's going to disincentivize people from doing Arena. Like, you're going to have a lot of people needing to do a lot of BGs before they do Arena, as things are, because they need the resilience gear. Because they need rating to get the Arena gear. So people will spend less time in Arena than they otherwise would. Because, like, if you could just go in Arena and you could just, like, do 5v5s, get a bunch of points, spend those, you know, farm that for some weeks, right? Yeah. Yeah, I think it's gonna cause issues anyway. Okay. Let's get that. I will skip season 1, to be honest. Maybe that's the play, right? Fuck season 1, just go season 2, be a casual, get the arena gear for honor when that becomes available. And just, yeah, chill it out. And just chill it out, really. No reason to push yourself. This is the problem what Blizzard has done. And for a record, this wasn't as much of an issue, and it isn't as much of an issue in the post-TBC PvP situation. Because, like, look at Wrath of the Lich King. Sure, you have PvP, like, you have the pre-arena stuff. You have arena rating requirements, absolutely. But, crucially, when it comes to that, although you have arena rating requirements, the PvP gear doesn't just simply like, you can get it for badges, you can get it from you can get some of it from Wintergrasp. Like, you have other methods than just doing BGs, which are not gonna happen because there's not enough alliance. Do I think the character boost? Well, Blizzard has it up with Blood Elf template, so. Maybe it will. I'm thinking it will. Probably a couple of weeks down after launch or something like that. Maybe even on the launch. Maybe the whole leveling and pre-patch stuff is just until the launch, and then they add the characters to boost. Because there is a template, level 58 template on stuff. Though the gear is utter garbage, so yep. In a year, you can buy as many boosts as you can possibly. Yeah, that's Blizzard being silly. People will just get different accounts if they can't, if they're limited to one boost per account. It's like, come on, Blizzard, we know how this game is played. You're not limiting you're not limiting Jack by by that little plan of yours. All right. Running away. Gonna get out of combat. There we go. All right. Well, I just need a couple more whiskers. That's all I need. Not more. Maybe that would be a play. I don't know. You just maintain multiple subscriptions. This is part of Blizzard's evil plan for people to maintain multiple accounts. Blizzard's devious scheme to milk the classic community from as much money as possible. It's like, you can only get one boost per account. There wasn't enough time before launch to make a TBC-like arena system, so they just implemented the copied version. Well, that sounds awful. Probably true, though. The classic guys probably are running with too small of a budget and too few people to actually make a good job. So, yeah, I would not be surprised if that actually is the case. The daughter of Sinnelleos. She purged me. Oh, that's not nice. Bambies. What in the fuck? Okay. Let's keep doing this. You know what? Those are 2 high HP and now we're fighting. in any way. Though most mages pull half the zone and blizzard everything. Not in this area. I need to go to Hillsbrad for that kind of stuff. Don't worry, I'll be going there soon enough. Once I'm done here, I'll just go there and probably speed up my leveling. I'm not gonna do these quests with the harpies, not worth my time. But yeah. The problem with Hillsbrad is, well, there's a lot of people. Compare 15. So yeah, there's a lot more people there than here, so. Just rent one apes guy is like, I'm sure Mitas is gun for hire these days. Okay. Okay. What classes do you think people will want the most for Karazhan if it releases as it is now in the beta? That's a good question. No melee. Everything else. Hunters, probably. 2 hunters to kill Nightbane. If you care about killing Nightbane. One plan on Karazhan. Yeah. You haven't seen Nightbane, have you? And also, that's not true. You want to clear Karazhan, or do you just want to do Curator? Alright. So here we go, killing Bambi's mom. Over and over and over again. Well, thankfully, this is the last one we need to kill. Is it best to wait until pre-patch? I think it's probably best to wait until the full release, if you ask me. Prices will go up. The Bambi movie was propaganda anyway. Was dear. Okay. So, people were telling me yesterday how they were able to buy dark runes at 5 gold a piece, and I'm like, that is crazy. If you see a guildie selling dark runes at 5 gold a piece, tell him he's making a mistake. Let's just leave it there. A big one. And if he doesn't listen, buy them all for yourself. They will easily get over 10, even 20 gold when TBC Classic actually comes out. Because they are much more useful in TBC Classic than they are in Vanilla. I mean, sure, there's a bunch of bots, and that's always going to skew things up, but it's like, bots probably will gravitate towards other things when it comes to TBC. It's still sub 10 gold. That is fucking crazy. Like, I can't believe how crazy that is. That is mental. But the thing is, it's probably because of the limited gore farm. Bots will probably have other options available when it comes out. Or gold sellers will have other options at any rate. That are probably going to be more efficient than farming dark runes. I got 50 at that. Wow. That is just insane. Yeah, they're below 10 gold on Gehennas. Gehennas! Fucking hell, man. So from 5 to 10 to over 10, you think? From 5 to over 20. Easily. The thing is, they're just not... Right now, people aren't really raiding truly right now, right? I mean, the real amount of raiding that's happening right now is very limited. People will be using Dark Runes in Kara. Oh, it broke! Get off my back. Yeah, 20 gold seems reasonable for Dark Runes, given the population of Classic, activity. Yeah, 300 Dark Runes is a good idea. You'll make bank with that, I can assure you. Like, if you have the gold, buy as many Dark Runes as you can. If they're 5 gold, buy all of them, really. People are too scared to spend gold. It's like, gold is, yeah. Gold, Dark Runes have been consistent. Yeah, for Vanilla. Vanilla is, Classic has been a bit different in that respect. Prices have started jumping up recently, as they bloody well should. I can't believe anyone would be maniacal to put stuff in our Dark Runes with TBC so close. I think this is why Blizzard is closing the auction house, everyone. In 4 days. I really think, there's a reason why, like, I can't believe that Blizzard is actually closing the auction house. I don't think I've ever seen them close the auction house in WoW's history, ever. At any point during the years, I can't remember of a time they've done it. So, you gotta understand things are pretty fucking dire if they're doing that. Because they know people are gonna price gouge the shit out of certain items. So they're trying to preempt that. For 4 days, Sleepy Sack. For 4 days, they're closing the auction house. Maybe I should make a video on that, talk about that. It's crazy. It's insane. It's absolutely insane what they're doing. Like, that's how I would describe it. It is madness. But it is an indication that right now prices are ridiculous and they're gonna skyrocket. Some things are gonna skyrocket. They just don't want the price gouging, basically. They don't want people to... They know... Okay, so Blizzard knows that certain items, or a lot of fucking items, are much cheaper right now than they're gonna be after the pre-patch. This is something that Blizzard knows as a company. They have people that are dedicated to the economy. So they're not stupid. They might not have the budget for certain things, but they're not stupid with these kind of things. So they know that there are people selling items at significantly lower value than they should be. They also know there's a lot of people with a metric ton of gold, hundreds if not millions of gold pieces, that what they can do easily is just buy complete stock of dark runes, potions, flasks, ores, all that kind of stuff, and flood the market with those once TBC comes out and make bank. Like, we're talking here twice, double, triple the amount of money you've spent. Oh, maybe double or triple in profits alone, really. I mean, you buy a dark rune right now. It's to make, they don't care about in-game prices. Could be. They don't care about in-game prices. They could not care about the in-game prices, but... Damn. Okay, so, it's what it is, right? Let me actually ask Mr. Dev. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. That might be true as well. I mean, I'm not denying that it's not that. It could also be that. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of gold in TBC as well. So, it's gonna get out of control pretty quickly. People will, I don't know if people are gonna be able to duplicate stuff. I'm really curious if people are gonna be able to duplicate stuff. Actually, that was what was I thinking. Prices are so insane right now. Well, when it comes to jewel crafting, like, I'm either not gonna rush it, or I'm gonna tell my guild, hey, you want the jewel crafter, you pay for it, basically. That's gonna be my strategy. I also have a miner on my warrior, so if push comes to shove, I'll just do it on my warrior, no problem. Might just buy some materials myself over the next couple of days. What I need is engineering, really. I think ores are gonna go up in price, but we'll see. Hello, Mrs. Botanist. Things are weird right now. Things are weird in the world right now. I think the last 2 years have been some of the most insane that we've seen in a long time. Probably the most insane in like 30 years. Ups and downs in all of our culture. In all of our lives, yeah. Hell, I recently was watching a TV series called Invincible. I'm like, how in the world did they get all these A-list actors to play in an animated show? It was like incredibly shocking, really. But I guess the times, right? Or that Amazon money. I guess if Jeff Bezos wants something, he gets what he wants. Don't I think jewel crafting and chanting would be decent, but you want engineering if you're actually gonna tank in a raid. I just can't stress it enough. It's a pretty big deal to have it. Oh. Yeah, that's kind of the problem with druids. They won't be able to use stuff in form. I always thought engineering was mainly for farming. What's the big deal about engineering? It's like, what's the big deal about engineering and raids in Classic? Same deal. Bombs. We want the big bombs, the super bombs, the super... You know how Vanilla has sapper charges? BC has super sapper charges. That's why you want engineering. Because, oh, you have AoE Fret. Yeah, you don't have AoE Fret with which you can do over 1.5k Fret or 2k Fret on all targets in range in a second with one click of a button. You have a lot of AoE Fret, you don't have that much. You don't have like 2k burst AoE Fret. That's why engineering is so important for a tank. Hell, engineering is probably going to be the meta for raiding anyway. Because what else would be the meta? Leatherworking's been nerfed, so sure, some people will have it in raid, but not everyone. So for those that are not going to have leatherworking, I think it's going to be engineering the meta. Just because of that burst AoE potential. I saw your videos of Kara tanking and heroics. You did everything well without mobs. Yeah, I also didn't have a bunch of raid geared warlocks that were seeding on cooldown. So, from the very start. And we weren't trying to speedrun that stuff. So, just worth saying. And it's Karazhan, which isn't exactly a real raid anyway. That's kind of thing. Yes, I said that Kara is a great place. It's not a real raid. It doesn't compare. It just doesn't compare. To STC and TK, then Black Temple and Mount Igel. Oh man. I really hope we're not gonna do Kara for 4 or 5 months. That's my fear. That's my worry. I mean, I'll probably play a lot of Arena in that case. Have some fun with that, but it's gonna be a pretty rough ride if that's the case. Who knows? Maybe that's the intent. Get us to get bored of it, and then it's like they can launch the 9.1 in Shadowlands and actually get people to play it because we don't have anything else to do. And I suppose that's one way of revitalizing Shadowlands instead of it dying out completely as it fucking should. It feels bad about Shadowlands because, like, with BFA, yeah, they made a bunch of idiotic decisions that really screwed them over. But with Shadowlands, they actually did that stuff that was good, and then it's like it's a dead expansion anyway. So, good stuff. It's actually kind of, it's just so boring to play it, really. But guess what? I'm gonna do 9.1 in July. Okay. Yeah, about that, I'm gonna say this. If Blizzard launches 9.1 in July, they deserve the fate that they've just put on Shadowlands. Genuinely, if they if they launch 9.1 in July, they are screwing over the expansion in such a major, major way. Like, it's not even a question. It's like, Blizzard, are you just bad? Are you just that bad? That, like, you know what? I can, I can, like, some decisions when it comes to game development, you understand why they made them, you comprehend them, and, even if they're bad decisions, like releasing TBC Classic when it is right now, we know that it's not ready. They know it's not ready. They're still doing it, probably because they want to get some good financial quarter data. They're basically, and this is a decision that's being made on an executive level, not the developer level. They're making that decision because they want their financial quarter to look better than it actually is. But it's a short-term benefit with a significant long-term impact. As for Shadowlands, releasing 9.1 in July is gonna fuck over so many guilds. Like, it's not even gonna be funny. It's not even gonna be amusing. I don't think people understand this. Summer is the worst time of the year, with the exception of maybe the 25th of December, like from the 20th of December until like the first week, until the end of the 1st of January. But summer, July especially, like late June, July, early August, that's the worst period to release any game or any expansion for a game, yeah. If they wait until September, it's bad too. Well, it won't be as bad as if they rush it out in July and screw over all the raiding guilds. Because look, like, we've seen this with Classic. Like, I've seen it so much because right now, like, granted, with Classic, the issue is more so that they kind of put the announcement out there without giving people enough warning well in advance so they could plan their vacations, time off, all that kind of stuff. So a lot of guilds are actually struggling with that. Then they do this with 8.2 and BFA. Yeah, and how did that work out for BFA? Just saying. BFA is probably going to go down in history as the worst expansion in WoW's history. I'm not sure you want to make that comparison. They probably have done it before, undeniably, but it was never a good idea. It always ended going badly. And if they do it right now with Shadowlands, like, it's like they just want, it just feels like they want to kill the game. Not that there's gonna be some competitor that comes up. Actually, the sad part is, for all the years of hearing about this game is gonna be the WoW killer, and then Guild Wars 2 comes out, Wildstar comes out, X, Y, and Z comes out, and they all fall flat on their face for a number of reasons. The biggest game that's come closest to actually being a WoW killer is Classic. So, fun stuff, right? Only WoW can kill WoW. That's how it feels like right now. Already killed in BFA. Nah, I think, if it was already killed in BFA, I think Shadowlands wouldn't have gotten as much attention as it has. Just worth saying, Shadowlands had the largest number of copies sold for any PC game, period. Or, well, I guess Cyberpunk beat it, so it's the second best-selling game in PC game. And guess what Cyberpunk and Shadowlands have in common? They were both major disappointments down the line. I mean, Shadowlands was fun, actually, at least for a while. But not anymore, so what to do about that? Good question. What to do? It's like, oh, we're gonna solve it all in 9.1, everyone. How? What? Well, we're gonna release a new raid. Okay. No one cares. You're gonna be able to kill Sylvanas. No one cares. You're gonna see Ner'zhul. Okay. Fair enough. Anything else? Any brilliant idea? Because if saving the game was all about releasing a raid tier, they would have fixed that issue a long time ago. It's not, by the way. That's not... You can't fix the issues of the community just by releasing a new raid tier. And that's kind of the problem, actually, with Shadowlands. It's not that, oh, the raiding content or the dungeons are bad. No, it's not really that at all. Nafria is perfectly fine, yeah. What do you think about the WoW token get implementing Classic? I think they should. I think they absolutely should implement the token. Stop screwing around on that. Just do it. Gold selling is completely out of fucking control. It's gonna get even worse in TBC. Just stop screwing around, Blizzard. You've lost that battle. But the community is gonna react in a negative way. This is a case where a lot of people in the community are just wrong. They've always... People who have been against the token, yeah. If you've been against the token, I'm sorry to say you've been proven wrong. Oh, but they could have just banned the gold buyers and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, nice fantasy scenarios. They could have done a lot of things. They didn't, and we knew they wouldn't. So, what difference if they add token? It's better. It screws over the gold selling sites. That's a good thing. That's a really good thing, actually. The token isn't even a massive RMT. Yeah. EVE Online's economy is an interesting beast. Because I think EVE Online's economy is probably an indication of how to do a healthy MMO economy, not this. The WoW economy is... to say bad and broken, I don't think even begins to encompass just how shit it is. You forget that the entirety of WoW Classic is overseen by just Steve the intern. People are also overreacting. Oh, the Deluxe Edition of TBC Classic. The end of the world of World of Warcraft. Can't imagine it, boys and girls. Can't imagine just how horrible it is. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's silly. It just is absolutely silly. Yeah. When I was playing WildStar had the token system. I sold some. Like I had the ability to get the golden game, and I just got some, and I think I only paid 1 month of subscription from my own cash. There's money taken out of the economy through taxes. Oh man, look. There's a lot of gold sinks in WoW. Do you know how much those matter? Not at fucking all. It's not that there aren't gold sinks in retail. There are. Major ones, even. Maybe optional ones, I guess you could say, because you don't really need the mounts. But there are ways to. There are things that Blizzard added in the game that are a major... gold sink. And there's stuff that people actually do care about, like, because they're beneficial. Having your own mount with an auction house is kind of a big deal. Yeah, like EVE Online does certainly have that. It's not the taxes that take a lot of the gold out. It's like, yeah, as Stigarun just said, it's really genuinely the fact that EVE Online does have major gold sinks, even bigger than WoW. Like WoW has some really big ones, but I also don't think it's really necessarily that one. I think it's well, let's just say that Blizzard didn't do anyone any favors with the garrison system they created in WoD, and the gold you could get from that garrison system. I think the problem in WoW's economy is there are ways to gain gold that are driven by PvE content as opposed to player content. What would be... That's a good question. How to answer it? Yeah, so Eversong, Ghostlands, and then you'll be 20. You should probably be 22. So depends on when you finish Eversong. So Eversong can finish when you're 12 or even 13. So you should try and do as many quests in Eversong as possible. Maybe just do... maybe just get the sword from Ghostlands and then finish the quest. You know, those things. And they don't fix these ways of over farming gold. Yeah, that's kind of the problem. So that's the real issue of WoW. It's not... It's that there's always been ways to gain gold just purely through just doing dungeons. Tokens will cut between the gold sellers. Yeah. Yeah, you would. And that's absolutely true. And I really, one of the things I've taken an issue with quite a few content creators is the fact that they've been so firmly against the idea of the token. It's like, I'll be honest, I do disagree with quite a few content creators, or I disagree with like the Reddit meta, as I've started calling it. It's like, oh, this is bad, this is good, this matters, this doesn't matter. Like, for instance, the whole leatherworking discussion was nonsensical from my perspective. The drums of battle discussion, right? If you think the most important issue that was going to exist in raiding in TBC was because of drums of battle, honestly, you haven't played TBC that much, have you? Yeah, I know that was going to be fire resistance. Had to try. Take BRD pickpocketing. Why is pickpocketing in the game anyway? But yeah, they don't have enough people to make those kind of changes. It's not gonna be true. They've addressed that already. When you get 60% speed, you're gonna get like when you have the lower level riding skill, it's only gonna be 60%. Yeah. What's my plan before going into release? I'm gonna go Hellfire Ramparts and Blood Furnace, then I'm gonna try and quest in Hellfire as much as I can. Then Slave Pins, Underbog, quest in Zangarmarsh. Then the Aconite Crypts, Mana Tombs Dungeons, and then quest in Terracarp, that kind of idea. I'll probably have a leveling group. No, I know I'll have a leveling group, actually. Even if I have to build one myself. Damn, that tornado is annoying. Yeah, I'm gonna be boosted. I'm gonna get the boost. Paladins are a resource for their guild. If you're running a guild and you're not realizing that you need to worry about your Blade of Paladins being geared before TBC comes out, well, that's, you're gonna have some issues as a guild leader. There's gonna be a significant shortage of Paladins because of what Blizzard did. There's gonna be an enormous shortage of Shamans on the Alliance side because of what Blizzard just did. I really hope that the investors are gonna be happy when they've screwed over the entire gaming, the entirety of the Alliance in TBC with the decision they made. What? It's a PvP server. Where's all the Genki boys? They're in Hillsbrad and STV. Where do you think they are? Also, about the Genki boys, Alliance lost the faction war on Gehennas a long time ago. And when I say lost, I mean they got pulverized. Apes tried to fight the good fight. They failed. Basically, Horde formed a multi-guild alliance to take them down because Horde couldn't win on one-on-one. So it's like they formed an alliance. Apes didn't. Apes lost. So. They'll be able to tank on a freight. Yeah, you should be able to tank from the beginning. No problem. Just get to 60 as quickly as possible, get them BGs. If you can get Stylines and a raiding weapon, go for it. Isn't that always the same, though? I don't know, like, the thing is, Alliance on Gehennas could have actually won, because we know Apes are a better guild than any Horde guild was. But Horde United just beat the crap out of them. It's plain and simple. It wasn't really a complicated affair at the end of the day. And it was just, from my understanding, yeah. So, from my understanding, what ended up happening on Gehennas, from what I've been told, is that, yeah, Apes and Salad Bakers would dominate one-on-one guild fights and do very well. But what ended up happening is Apes refused to cooperate with any other guild except Bakers. And because of that, they just didn't have the numbers to deal with the massive number of Horde guilds. The Badge Helm is not going to be available. It's not in the beta. Worth saying that. Is there a particular reason? Yeah, having an alt with tailoring and alchemy. That's why. That's the main reason. Can warriors tank dungeons? Yes. There's always going to be a tank shortage, so don't worry about that aspect. They're probably not as good as Druids or Paladins for the sake of that, but yes. Don't worry too much about that issue. Okay. Yeah, if you don't have the dungeon gear, you can do some quests early on in Hellfire. If you manage that, you'll be fine as well, by the way. But I would say it's gonna help a lot if you have the honor gear. For the sake of early leveling. I mean, all the gear you're getting in pre-patch, the only item that's actually going to be relevant at level 70 is the Blackwing Lair Trinket. Everything else is secondary, really. Okay. I'm afraid not. The best I can say about warrior farming is go Scarlet Monastery. That's probably your best option for farming gold. It's not a great option either. As for TBC, you can farm Skolo. Once you're 70, you can farm Skolo. Solo it. Get Dark Runes. Make quite a bit of gold for that. Am I going to craft engineering? Yeah, most likely I am. Yeah, that Chimera coming in behind me was kind of frustrating, actually. Should have just, I'll teleport to Ogrimmar after this is done and fly back here. I think that's probably better. Never mind, I forgot to buy runes. GG. Well, I do have my Hearthstone, don't I? So yeah. How did you turn off the Great Death filter? There's a macro that does it. There's also an add-on, I believe, that does it. And that's what I used. Okay, I need to follow the road. Yeah. Mage experience, no runes. Now, sounds about right, doesn't it? Forgetting to go to the vendor, having an inventory full. Alright, tell you what, boys and girls, I'm gonna stop for the moment. I've got some other things to do, and I will probably stream later in the evening. Right now, I'm just not exactly good for this. And besides, I generally have other things. So, I'll see you boys in a bit, boys and girls, in a bit. Stay tuned. Maybe I make a video today, maybe I don't. Maybe I